Thinking about moving to Metro Jacksonville? Well, I am the one who can help you make your move. Stick around if you want to know my 10 insider tips on what you need to know before you move to Metro Jacksonville, Florida. Thanks so much for watching, friends. My name's Nicole Smith. In case you may not know me and it's a first time to my channel, I am a realtor here in the Metro Jacksonville area. And I moved here over 10 years ago with my family from Canada. So I know exactly what it's like to relocate here. And I did it without a realtor, and that is one regret that I have. I wish I would have relied on someone local who would have been able to help and guide me through the new chapter of my journey here in Metro Jacksonville, Florida. Well, first and foremost, as you know, when you live in Florida, it is hot and it is humid. Now, Jacksonville itself is not the hottest city here in Florida because we're in the northeast, which means we're on the Atlantic Ocean and we're close to the Georgia state line, which also means we have options when it comes to getting out of Dodge when hurricanes occur. And yes, hurricane season is upon us once again. But when we're here in Jacksonville, Florida, we are pretty grateful for the fact that we barely get touched with the hurricanes. So when I did my research, I found that Jacksonville hadn't really been struck by a major hurricane since the 60s. And the ones that have come here have not damaged this community compared to what they do on the West Coast. So let me tell you, that is definitely a plus why you would want to choose Jacksonville over perhaps Miami or even Tampa. And what we do here to survive the heat is we embrace it. The hot months are almost like how we would handle winter up north. We don't go out as much. We tend to do what we can do early in the morning or later in the evening. The daytime is basically a time to stay indoors and stay in the air conditioning. I know it sounds a little strange, but it gets a little too sweltering hot here, and you really will rely on your air conditioning. In fact, going from the home into the car, really you're not exposed that much. So it's not as bad as you may think it's going to be. So right now, it is a great time to get to the beach early, do your gardening early. If you like to golf, you're going to go out early. If you're playing pickleball, maybe you're going to find some indoor pickleball courts or go and do an early game. If you're into tennis, fishing, hiking, boating, you guys know what your bodies can tolerate. So just make sure you wear layers, make sure you wear your sunscreen, and make sure you drink plenty of water. Pretty much when you choose to move to Florida, you anticipate really hot weather in May, June, July, August, and it gets a little bit cooler September, October are like beautiful. November, I mean, in the fall and winter, it's cooling down here, and we absolutely love the weather here when it comes to our fall and winter and even spring. The number 2 thing I want to talk to you about is the cost of living here and taxes, utilities, and insurance. Not going into great details, but if you check out one of my other videos, you can see where I broke down every single item about the cost of living here in Jacksonville. But know this, we are basically a town that has no state tax, but our local tax here is 6%, and we have a Duval County tax of 1.5%. We also have a millage rate. So what does that mean? The value of your home is based on its assessed property value. So ours is fiscally 11.3169 per $1,000 assessed value. So that being said, it's not too bad. And property taxes compared to other areas were about 0.77%, where a lot of other areas, the median is 1.02. So Jacksonville's effective property tax rate is lower when it comes to the average, which is ideal for saving some money and getting more bang for your buck. The other thing we have here in Florida is homestead. Homestead means that if this is your primary residence, you get to deduct $50,000 off your home's value, so you get a lower tax rate on your assessed value. So that is definitely a savings for you if you are in Florida. One of the other awesome things is assessment increases. The millage rate has remained flat. Property owners may see higher tax bills due to increases in the assessed property value, but the actual charge hasn't gone up. So that is actually a really awesome factor that we have here in Duval County. Now, our state tax, as I said, is 6%. Duval charges an extra 1.5%, but Jacksonville itself does not have any city taxes. And so that is a definite plus here for our homeowners. And if you're going to be moving to Jacksonville, Florida, I would absolutely love to guide you through the process, get you into community that best fits your needs. And we have so many communities to choose from. In fact, make sure you check out these other videos because I have toured so many communities that might just work for you. So let's go on to the list here. What would you think about the top 3 relocation areas in the Metro Jacksonville area? Well, one of the top ones is Mandarin, which is not too far from the St. Johns River. Also, it is actually where my office is because I am a realtor here. And the other community that is very popular for families is Nocatee, which is a master plan community in the St. Johns County area. I am a certified Nocatee realtor, so I have the inside scoop on Nocatee, and they are down to their last communities for new construction. So you can still get one if you are in the market. And right now, new construction is a great way to save money. Why do I say that? Because the builders are helping out the buyers. They are locking in some lower interest rates. They're throwing in incentives. And it is a great way to start your home buying journey here in Metro Jacksonville. Other community that's very popular here is St. John's. And yes, St. John's is a county, but it is also considered a city here. And yes, it is in St. John's. Very, very big community, very big county. And they're also known for being in the top 2 of the best school systems in all of Florida. And that is why that community is so, so popular. So that is a very important factor. If you are raising kids here, you're going to want to know about the school systems. Now, I have done another video on schools, so make sure you check that out. And you know, that is a very important factor. So let's name that as number 4, schools. Now let's talk a little bit about housing, the prices, and your expectations. So housing here, the average median price in Duval is in the $300,000 to $400,000 range per home. Now, if you go into Duval, you're going to find a lower priced home. And if you're in the St. John's Nocatee community, your home values are going to be more expensive. You're paying for the school system, and that is something, if it's in your budget, I highly recommend getting where your most priority is the best for you and your family. So your home may be smaller for the same amount of money, or you may get a larger house in Duval for the same amount of money. It's one of these things. You have to have pros and cons. But let's move on to another tip. It is HOA and CDD fees. Now, the HOA and CDD fees are a little more conducive, or the probability of having HOA and CDDs in St. John's and Nocatee are 100%. That's what you're going to find. You're not going to not find them there. In Jacksonville, they're not as popular. You will not find as many HOA and CDD fees because those communities are older, or they're not designed by a builder, so therefore they did not add those fees into the home pricing and the community itself. So those will be assessed on your taxes, which may make your taxes seem a little bit higher, but they are going to be there. You're going to have to pay them even if you have no mortgage. Your HOA and CDD fee will always be there. And the HOA is designed because it helps the community look good. Homeowners Association, in case you don't know, and the CDD is called the Community Development District. This is when a builder will put all the money out up front to get the plumbing in, all the electrical infrastructure, but then they turn around and charge all the homeowners. They put the money out front, and then the homeowners have to pay for it, including if they have amenities like pools and parks. So a lot of the newer planned communities are going to have CDD fees. There are a few exceptions, but this is something that is quite normal here in the Metro Jacksonville area. Another point I want to let you guys know about is the fact that we have the largest city per square mile than any city in the continental USA. And in fact, it's one of the largest cities in the entire world by land mass, not population, but land mass. So sometimes you wonder, are there going to be a lot of traffic jams? What's my commute going to be like? Well, you know what? It all depends on where you live and where you work. We are a city of 7 bridges. So at any given time, if there's an accident on the bridge, your traffic jam will be intense if you need to get across that bridge. My recommendation is to always look at the traffic flow before you make your decision on where you want to live compared to where you work. And even if you don't work in a great area compared to where you live, it's not close, for example, always look at your GPS before you leave the house, just in case you can avoid a traffic jam. It will save you a lot of time. On average, the traffic here is not as bad as people want to say it is. And I say compared to, let's say, Miami, our traffic is a joke. It is so easy. Compared to Orlando, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Our traffic here is fabulous. On average, you can get anywhere in 30 minutes. Now, if you're living all the way in Green Cove Springs or Fleming Island and you're trying to get to Nocatee, that's going to be a 60-minute drive in good traffic. But you know what? You'll get there. Now, the next point I want to make here is the lifestyle difference here from, let's say, South Florida to up here in Northern Florida. We are a little more quiet area. We don't have as much as the traffic like I was mentioning. We don't have much of the let's say, the beeping of the horns that go on down in South Florida, that loud, just crowded vibe because of all the tourists. We're less touristy here. Our beaches are huge. They're deep, they're wide. They have so many miles of beaches here to select, all the way from Hannah Park, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, St. Augustine, all the way. You name it, we have a lot of beaches, and our beaches are pristine. They're beautiful. You can find a spot and never feel like you're overcrowded with other people all over you. And in South Florida, that is not the case. You're going to be able to pretty well find parking. You're going to find places to eat. You're going to find a lot of options for your lifestyle here in Florida. And now, our beaches our only thing? Absolutely not. I'm really tired of when I hear people say there's nothing to do in Jacksonville. There is so much to do in Jacksonville. We are always having an event. We're always having festivals. We have some great musicians here. We have a lot of great venues for concerts. We have theater. We have sports. I've made a whole video on sports, so make sure you go check that out. There are so many options here for lifestyle. We're becoming a real foodie city. We have great restaurants. We have fabulous malls and shopping. There are so many activities here, and if you're telling me you don't have anything to do, it's because you're not trying to even look. But you know, one of the best apps is the Jacksonville app that I use all the time. Visit Jacksonville. You will find event after event after event there, and I highly recommend even going onto their website and ordering the Visit Jacksonville magazine. That's what I did before we moved here, and I wanted to visit every place they recommended, and I absolutely feel like a tourist sometimes here, even though I've been here 10 years. I know I haven't done everything on my list. We have great museums. There's just so much to do here, and when people say there isn't, I just think they don't ever look, they don't ever research, and they don't ever really have an idea that there is so much to do here. Yes, we don't have all the parks here like they do in Orlando, but we're 2 hours away. If you want that life, go drive there and enjoy that life. It's great. I mean, I've been there, and when I used to live in Canada and Michigan, we would drive to Orlando at least once a year. So I get it. It's a fun, really fun city, and there's a lot to do there. Now, I also wanted to let you know that I do offer virtual consultations, so please take the opportunity to book one with me. I'm going to leave a link below to my calendar so you and I can get to know each other, and I can find out all your wants and needs. I also would love to offer you my free location guide, and if you message me or send me an email, which I'll leave everything in the comments, you will get a free relocation guide, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions that I may not have covered today. I feel like sometimes, you have an idea that you want to move, but you just don't know how to get started. So let me be the one to help you get started on this journey. I can find you exactly the right neighborhood that's best suited for you and your family's needs. I can show you around the city. And if you're watching any of my videos and like a vibe of a certain area, whether you want it old home, something new, something small, something large, condos, whether you want a townhouse, anything you want is available here in the Metro Jacksonville area. Maybe you're dreaming of a beach house. Guess what? We have so many options here. With every budget in mind, there is something for everyone. So whether you're a young family, whether you're middle, or even whether you're into your senior years, I am here to guide you on your real estate journey. And I would love to be your go-to agent here in the Metro Jacksonville area. If you're a little unsure, a little nervous about making the move, I totally get it, but I'm here to make the process smooth. I'm here to make the process enjoyable, less stressful. And remember, life is too short not to love where you're living. And I am living the dream here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I would love for you to be my neighbor. Thanks for watching, friends, and make sure you have any questions, leave them below. Like, follow, and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe.